Most people in the state who are voting are probably pro-life. So they say. But most people in the state who are registered Republicans are actually not pro-life at all. And as you can see here, I say they are not pro-life, they are pro-fetus. Why is that? Because the evangelical movement in America, despite its strong stand on the sanctity of human life, has not treated human life with sanctity at all. And so when the evangelical movement stands by and agrees with drone strikes in Yemen, or in Pakistan, or in Somalia, and kids there are killed, and then have the audacity, quite frankly, the audacity to walk into a church and to pray for God to end abortion in America. We really believe that that is being pro-life? So the first part of this process is to inform people. That's what we have to do. And part of what we're informing them on are not just facts, but ideology. Helping them to see where their view has been skewed by media. Because that's what they're in the business of doing right now. The second step then, is after they've been informed, is to be engaged. Because it's one thing for me to tell you about all the problems right now in society, and all the things in America that need to be fixed and need to be changed, and we got to change this and we got to change that. Let's do it. Like Howard Dean, let's go take all those states. Rawr, that's right. Yeah! But if we don't do anything, if we don't get engaged, then what's the point of it? Actually, if we don't get engaged, we end up like Howard Dean, right? All of a sudden, it's all over with. So how do we change things? How do we change the White House? How do we change Congress? How do we change the Supreme Court? How do we get involved and do that? And I say we don't. I say we don't. We will, but we don't yet. Until first, we change towns and we change counties. And there's a sharp guy in here named Swann, who I met earlier. Where'd you go, John? What's up, man? So much work has been done in local towns and counties, but I want to show you something here. You guys have been hearing all about this, right? So you've got riots in Turkey right now. You've got riots in Brazil. Do you know what the riots in Brazil were over?
Bus fares.
Say again?
Bus fares.
Bus fares. Yes. Bus fares increased. Do you know by how much? 20 cents in some places, 9 cents in some places. And so people went nuts. They're like, wait a minute, 20 more cents? No. Peligro. And they went crazy. And they started trashing Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, and they're rioting in the streets, and cops are fighting with people and macing people, and it's crazy. Pepper spray everywhere, and it's insanity. It's nuts over bus fares. Somebody sent me a message the other day and said, Ben Swann, all you do is talk to people about how you want to inform them and wake them up. We need action, man. We need action like they have in Brazil. Okay, so here's what happened in Brazil. As the demonstrations grew, protesters spoke out against a variety of grievances. So it started with bus fares, but it grew. It became more. Ranging from deficient education and health systems, corruption, government spending on mega events, and increasing cost of living. Are those legitimate things to be angry about?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I like your enthusiasm. The complaints reflect the rise of a larger, richer, more sophisticated middle class, demanding better public services, lower prices, cleaner politicians. The Financial Times, Joe Leahy wrote that. Now, because of the more generalized nature of the protests, some demonstrators used the catchphrase, it's not just about 20 cents. That's what they were saying. So, it started out about 20 cents, but it grew to much more. Hey, that's not bad. That's not terrible. June 18th, Brazil's president said her administration would heed people's concerns, vowing to improve public services and combat inflation. Brazil woke up stronger today, she said. 7 cities, all those, announced reductions in bus fare the same day. On June 19th, the mayors of Rio and Sao Paulo also said there would be reductions in transportation fares. Yay!
Would that make it back what it was?
It fixed it. I don't know. I don't know if it made it back what it was.
Choco rations up, choco rations down.
But here's the bigger issue. Look back up there. What was the anger about? It's not just what? It's not just 20 cents. Right? Here's your 20 cents back. And they're like, go home. We're done. Victory! Claim victory for the working class. We're stronger now. You're not stronger. People have been beaten over the head and pepper sprayed. And now you're going home. But at least you got your 20 cents back. And unfortunately, that's part of the major problem with Viva la Revolution. Because burning cars and trashing cities doesn't get you those results. What gets you results is when people, number one, are informed, and number two, take action and make actual changes. So there's this whole thing that happened in Iowa City, and you guys should be extremely proud. You should be extremely proud. Drones, red light cameras, license plate recognition technology. I had a conversation in the hallway a few minutes ago about how do we do this in other places? And my thing is, the only way it happens is for you to teach other cities how to do the same thing. Now, their system of government may be a little bit different, their city charters may be different, but those things need to be amended then. What you all have done in Iowa City is a huge victory for liberty. You didn't flip the White House. You didn't change the makeup of Congress. The Senate is not running better now, but Iowa City is running better now. And that is where engagement happens. See, we have this theory, this idea that we have to have change on a massive level in order for it to really count for something. So people will get all excited about the Ron Paul campaign, and they'll give millions upon millions of dollars to that campaign because we're going to see something different. We're going to see a real president who stands up for rule of law and the Constitution, and then he doesn't even win the primary. Well, I guess we could argue that. We might be able to argue that, but he didn't get to go in that spot. And then all of a sudden, people are deflated and sad. I guess nothing's ever going to change for us. No, it changes when you decide to change it. But I'll tell you this, friend, if you believe it only changes from the top down, you got it all backwards. It changes from the bottom up. The reason we call it grassroots is it's grassroots. Grassroots is the most overused and misused term in political terminology, isn't it? Everyone's grassroots, and nobody's grassroots. This is grassroots. What happened in Iowa City is grassroots. We're going to fix red light cameras. We're going to fix drones, not all over the country. We're not going to get a federal ban on drones. We're going to fix it above my house. That's the idea. That's how it's done. UN's Agenda 21. I love Agenda 21. This is something you might not know about me. I really do. I love it. I think that Agenda 21 is one of the best things that's ever happened to this country. Because what the progressives have done and the globalists have done through Agenda 21 is give us a blueprint for how liberty will rise. They have given us a blueprint. You ever heard of ICLEI? ICLEI is the local government for sustainability group. It's a non-government organization. It works with local governments, though, to implement the United Nations blueprint for sustainable living, Agenda 21. They know exactly what they're doing. How brilliant to not try to take Agenda 21 through a federal level or even a state level, but just go around to individual cities and say, we're going to work with you for smart growth and smart development. Bypass all that big stuff. 1,100 cities worldwide are members of ICLEI right now. That number is actually down. Because the more people have learned about Agenda 21, the more that are actually getting out of it now. But I want you to see this. This was actually written a number of years ago. It's by Gary Lawrence. He is a Seattle planner. He was an advisor to the Clinton-Gore Council on Sustainable Development. He said, he said, in some cases, LA 21, local Agenda 21, is seen as an attack on the power of the nation state. So we call our process something else, such as comprehensive planning, growth management, or smart growth. We combat globalism and the removal of civil liberty and freedom by being wise. Don't rewrite the playbook. Go grab the other guy's playbook and run his plays against him. That's what we need to be doing. Agenda 21 was being implemented in a very successful way, just as Common Core is being implemented in a very successful way right now. But it's not done on a huge level. It's done through local levels. Same way that liberty will rise. To take the same approach. How do we deal with local law enforcement when it comes to policing for profit? How do we deal with local